ankle for the ATFL. We also have an anterior draw test for the knee, which looks like this. Again, I would put a towel as a barrier and ask for permission to sit on your foot.
Permission granted.
Thank you. So here I'm going to palpate for the joint line. So kind of the tibial tuberosity, move up on either side of the patellar ligament, feel that joint space, because I want to see if it's opening up or if there's movement happening to the tibia in relation to the femur. So remember that the ACL, so I'm doing an anterior draw test for the anterior cruciate ligament.
Let me take that guy. There's an earwig on the side of the shit.
And the ACL attaches anteriorly on the tibia, so it's going to prevent anterior translation of the tibia, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. So I'm pulling forward, I'm asking about pain, and I'm seeing if there's an excessive anterior glide. And I can feel that based on, is that joint space there? Is there an increased movement happening in my thumbs?
Is that really the degree to which you're testing it? Like just out of
I'm not doing a quick pull.
Okay, no, not a quick pull, but just like.
I'm using my
Okay,
body
it's
weight
not
and
too
I'm leaning
excessive.
back.
Okay, okay.
It doesn't feel excessive because if your ACL is intact, there's
Yeah.
no way I'm gonna break it.
I see.
Not even just with pulling with my whole body weight.
Yeah.
Is this the same one you were doing the Peter Keys?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll call it the Peter Keys.
Yeah, we
test.
should
Yeah.
Wait, and so your fingers are in these
In the joint line. Yeah. So pulling forward, looking for excessive range of motion. The exact opposite of this would be testing for the PCL, which is attaching posteriorly on the tibia and preventing a posterior translation. So now I'm going to put my thumbs on either side of the tibial tuberosity and just push posteriorly. So again, look for pain or excessive range of motion. Any pain?
No.
Great. Now, going back to the Sag Sign, which was the next test, we would want to do a Sag Sign before we did an anterior draw test. And here's why. A Sag Sign is testing for the integrity of the PCL. If the PCL is torn, when I put his legs in this position and look for the levels of the tibial tuberosity, it's going to be hanging back, right? So when I go to do my anterior draw test and pull forward, I'm going to be starting from a posterior position and just simply pulling it up to neutral. It'll feel like an excessive range of motion, but I've simply started in a position that's posterior and drawn it back to where it should be.
So that's what you want to check first.
I want to do a Sag Sign first.
Right.
Can you pull the Google a Sag Sign video, or even just an image? So you'll see when you're holding a person's ankles, you generally will see a tibial tuberosity. In the case of a Sag Sign, there's like an indentation. It's pretty obvious. The other thing you don't want to do is hold here, because you're just holding the tibia up for them. They have to have that gravity here.
Will you still see it if they're the ones holding their knees up? Like if they're too heavy for you? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, some people, and some people you might have to just do one leg at a time.
Yeah. Ooh. That looks rough.
Oh, that's even worse than mine.
ligament lax?
Wow. Wow.
Same
like
deal, right?
Yeah.
Not just
That's yours?
So when you go to pull this leg,
That's your-
this
No, no, no.
tibia
Mine's-
forward,
Yeah, nice
you're
leg.
just gonna take up the slack.
Why are you feeling
This
this?
this whole time in there's a gap. You've got to
Wait, let me see. Okay, thank you.
All right,
So it's as simple as just doing that before doing
that's the
those
Sag
tests.
Sign,
Okay.
before you do your
Okay.
these, if you
anterior drawer test.
ever, and apologies to anybody who actually likes watching football, but if you ever watch football games, when somebody gets hurt on the field, they do a lot of these tests really quickly, and if something's positive, it's really interesting to see. So watching injury reels can also be really fun, because you'll actually get to see like special tests being done in rapid fire to either clear them or get a stretcher. Yeah.
Wow.
Can you roll this above your knee?
Sorry?
Are you able to roll this up above your knee?
Yeah, please.
Depends.
Okay, so you can put this leg down. The next test is also, so again, we're still in the cruciate testing here for anterior and posterior draw and Sag Sign. The next one is called Lachman's test, and I like it, but I'm not able to do it on every single person. It kind of depends on the size of your hands and the size of their leg. It has to be done in the resting position. and you're testing for the anterior and cruciate ligament integrity. So I kind of hold it like a hoagie, a submarine sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm holding above. What I'm trying to do is stabilize the femur. I'm gonna push down on the tibia to give myself a running start, and then quickly pull forward. Wait. Did that hurt?
No.
No, it didn't hurt because his ACL is intact. In fact, when I do that, it has to be a quick motion. What you're going to likely feel is a clunk, which is the ACL stopping you short. It wouldn't hurt if, feel that clunk?
Yeah. Kind of feels nice.
Sicko. So when I go like this and then,
Okay.
So I push down on the tibia just to give myself a bit of a running start, and I'm pulling up on the femur, and then I switch the pressure.
Do you always try, or do you just like sometimes look at your hands and look at your leg and go, hi?
Well, if the leg is this big, I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna be able to get around that.
Yeah, okay.
You could use straps to hold down the femur and try and just use two hands. But again, when you have an anterior drawer test, you could also do that. The problem is, if there's swelling or other things that don't allow them to get to 90 degrees to do an anterior drawer test, that's kind of your only option. So again, get creative. Try those.